Hey there, it's me Eden. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, then please consider subscribing and please support my work, and buy me a coffee worth $1 only. Support link in the comment, thanks. Morning came much too quickly, as it always seemed to. I sat up in bed and stretched. My breasts sagged and pulled on the skin of my chest, but I hardly even noticed. Nor did I pay attention to their bounce and sway as I bent over to put on the big fluffy slippers and the robe. I sat down at my makeup table and brushed my hair. Then I put it up into a ponytail. I was glad that I had always worn it so long. If it had been shorter, I might have had to wear that hot wig for the past several days. When I arrived downstairs, I was surprised to see that Mom and Aunt Jessica were already in the kitchen. They greeted me and Mom gestured for me to sit down. She said, "Good morning, Crystal. The bacon's already cooked. How would you like your eggs? Over easy?" "Yes, please." She turned to the stove and cracked open 2 eggs. As they bubbled and sizzled, I started to pour a glass of orange juice. Aunt Jessica stopped me by saying that Mom had already poured me a glass. She brought me a glass that had been on the counter. It was still cold, so it hadn't been poured very long ago. I had finished it by the time that she had dished up the eggs and added the bacon and toast. I dug in as Mom and Aunt Jessica talked. They had already eaten, as evidenced by the dirty dishes near the sink. Carol came in and Mom rose to cook her eggs. Carol poured herself a glass of orange juice as she waited. After breakfast, Mom told Carol and myself to clean the kitchen when we were finished, and she left to take her bath. We sat and talked with Aunt Jessica for a little while. Aunt Jessica said, "When will you be going to the theater today, Crystal?" "As soon as I get dressed. I'm anxious to find out if Barbara has made the arrangements to get the solvent for the glue. It may take a couple of days before it arrives, depending on the shipping company." "I know. Mom mentioned that the other day when we were at the mall. So you'll be a woman for a little while longer. How do you feel about that?" "I'm not as upset as I was at first. I've gotten used to being one of the girls. I've actually had a little fun with it. The party that Carol and I went to the other night was a lot of fun, and it was pleasant to be treated so nicely by the boys at the fair yesterday. Moreover, I've felt closer to Carol than I have in years." Carol reached over and put her hand on mine. "I've loved having a little sister for the past few days. I want her to stay as long as possible. I hope that the solvent doesn't come for weeks, or never." "How about that? Would you like to be my little sister forever?" I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I knew that in a couple of days I would be back as Carrie, so I thought that a little white lie wouldn't hurt anyone. I said, "Of course, sis. I'd love to stay as your little sister. It has been wonderful the past couple of days." She jumped up from her chair, ran around the table, and squeezed me. She said, "I knew it. I told Mom that you would. I could see it in your eyes. I saw how happy you were at Robin's party, and again at the fair today. You love being a girl." She was so happy that I didn't have the heart to tell her that my fondest wish was to return to my former identity so that I didn't have to wear the corset any longer. I decided to play along with her and then express my regrets after I had become Carrie again. It couldn't hurt since it would only be for a few more days. Aunt Jessica said, "Is that true, Crystal? Would you like to be a girl permanently?" Sure, Aunt Jess, I lied, for Carol's benefit. It's been wonderful. But please don't spread it around. It would be difficult to live down when I have to become Carrie again. She said, I understand, dear. I won't mention a word outside of the family. I decided that it would be best to end the conversation before Carol got carried away again, so I said, Carol, let's clean up. I have to get down to the theater for the rehearsal. We worked together to clean up the kitchen, and then we went upstairs. Carol helped me to remove the corset so that I could take a bath. The warm water invigorated my pinched and wrinkled skin that had been so abused by the corset for days. I soaked until the water started to cool down, then I got out, patted myself dry, and powdered my body prior to putting on my panties. After putting on a clean bra, I put on a fresh chemise, followed by the corset. I tugged and pulled on the laces until I had closed it down considerably. I put on the padded panty girdle and then my stockings. I heard Carol in the bath, so I would have to wait until she was out before I could finish dressing. I decided to put on my makeup while I waited, so I sat down at my makeup table and started to work on it. By the time that Carol was done, I had finished my face and was working on my hair. I put it up in a ponytail again. The pointers that I had learned from Carol had helped me to get it almost perfect on the first try. Carol came walking into my bedroom in only her bra and panties. She had me stand up so that she could help me with the corset, and then she pulled and tugged on the laces until I could barely breathe. I walked around, trying to get used to the constriction once again, while Carol selected a dress for me to wear. Carol laid her selection on my bed and sat down at my makeup table to work on her face. She talked the whole time that she worked. I answered in the monosyllable style dictated by the limited air permitted by the corset. When I at last began to breathe somewhat normal, Carol tightened the laces and tied them off. As I struggled to get my breath, she put a full slip on me, followed by the dress that she had selected. I saw that it was similar to the one that I had worn on Sunday. The tight fit and low-cut design caused my breasts to swell up out of the bodice. The tightly drawn skirt accented my hips and shrunken waist. With the 4-inch heels on my feet, I thought that I once again looked like a bimbo starlet going to a producer's convention in Las Vegas. I examined my chest to see if any of the permanent makeup had worn off. It still looked perfect and you couldn't tell where the breasts met my chest at all. Even under intense examination, they appeared to be a part of my anatomy. Carol, isn't this dress a bit much? I'm only going to the theater. Crystal, like I told you before, you're bigger than I am, so my clothes are going to be tight on you. This dress is loose on me. Besides, I love your figure. You know the old saying, if you've got it, flaunt it. But this figure isn't me. It's plastic, silicone, and foam rubber. The gorgeous legs and beautiful face are all yours, cries. Many women use help to achieve their looks. Padded bras are more common than most men realize. Wigs and falls, breast augmentation surgery, plastic surgery, body sculpture surgery, are all used every day. We women will seemingly go to any ends to be beautiful. So you're not unique. Okay, Carol. I wanted to change the subject, so I said, Sis, can I borrow a purse? The one that Barbara lent me doesn't go with this dress. Of course, cries. Help yourself. I'm going to get dressed. We walked into her bedroom and I went to her closet. I took several purses off of the shelf and selected one. I thought about our changing relationship. A week ago, Carol would have killed me if I came anywhere near her bedroom, and now she was telling me to help myself to the things in her closet. After she was dressed, we sat to finish our makeup and hair. Carol told me what she was going to do today, and asked me about my day. I'm not really sure. I can't do many of the things that I did before I became a woman. I'll just help out in any way that they can use me. If you get done early, you can join Sherry and me. We'll be at Heather's house. Okay, sis, I'll see. Call me at the theater if you decide to leave before I come. Will do, cries. I got up to leave and Carol grabbed me and hugged me. She said, "I'm so glad that you're here, Crystal. And that you would like to stay forever. I just love having a little sister. We'll have so much fun together." Carol had been so helpful to me over the past several days that I decided to let her have her little delusion for a little longer. I would let her think that I was going to stay as Crystal until I could return as Carrie. Then I would express my regrets about the change back, and hope that she wouldn't be too hurt about losing her little sister. I hugged her also. Please like and subscribe for the next part, and visit my Patreon page for early access. Patreon.com/Eden07. Link in the comment, thanks.